Oh, hello there. Did you come for lazy lats? Then you're in the right class. Well, lazy lats is a bit of a misnomer. The lats will be anything but lazy in this routine, which will only be 15 minutes after we warm up. The lats will in fact be quite active. However, we'll be sitting on the floor the entire damn time, and we'll even be in a position that resembles lying down for sleep. So, hence the lazy. If you're in LA and you're doing these live, or at least on the day they're getting posted, you may be joining us tomorrow for a nice big hike. In fact, our first group hike of the summer. Super excited for that. We just did legs, we just did core, so let's leave all that stuff behind today. We'll do the laziest approach to the lats possible so we can preserve ourselves for tomorrow and still get a great upper body workout. You dig? You need this 2-chair setup that I hinted in the comments. If you have 2 equivalent chairs that are low, that's the absolute best version of the setup that we need today. So notice I'm seated on the floor and my elbow is able to get up on that chair. It could be much higher, it could be a little bit lower, but as long as we're comfortably able to reach that elbow, the upper arm on top of the seated surface, we're good to go. Because if I were home, I would not have 2 equivalent chairs. I'm going to try to mimic that in the gym here. So I have one of these benches that's a little bit higher actually than the chair. So understand if you have 2 slightly different height surfaces, which I would at home, I'd be on the ottoman table thing in the middle of my living room, and my office chair, which is a slightly different height, slightly different character. We can use 2 different objects. Totally fine. I've got it like this so I can turn around and get the other side. We can keep this symmetric about the entire workout. You dig? Other than that, real simple. We should also have room enough to slide this chair away and make a wider separation. So make sure your setup allows that. All I'm going to do is drag one in to make it close and slide it further away to make it farther away. Cool. It's going to be a short one, but we're going to get nice and effective. Make sure every time we do these mini moves, you envision what the full range version of the move might be. We'll talk about it. I'll try my best to illustrate it as we go. But pull-ups, like this. Simple, right? Rows, like this. Simple. Delt raises, like that. You know those big moves. We're going to crank on them today, but they're going to be in abbreviated ranges of motion due to our lack of free weights, our setup. So let's practice those things as the warm-up. We're going to do a minute in each little posture. First one is fake pull-ups. Timer's on. I want you to reach as high as you possibly can. Straighten the elbows and elevate the shoulder blades. So let the top of that front delt head kind of hit your jaw way up, and then make a tight fist. Pull down. Don't just bend the elbows, but drop the shoulders and let the collarbone emerge in that gap and lift up. You might even get a little spinal arch. Just curve shape, that's totally fine. Reach up, big, let the shoulder blades elevate, grab a grip, pull down. That was enough yapping to make me want to restart this timer, so let's do it. Inhale big, stretch it out, pull, big chest. Inhale, reach, pull, big chest. Inhale, reach, big straight arms, grab that bar, pull it down, lift the chest up to it, and continue at your own pace, imagining what it would feel at a lat pull down, cable setup, or even a real pull up. Start turning on your imagination. What would this feel like with the full weighted setup? And we're going to try our best to translate it to these chairs. Much better latency situation today, but I do see it's creeping in. There's a little delay going on. So please hit me in the comments if you're missing any details. Try to follow the audio if the video breaks away. Now we do the same thing with rows out in front. I'm gonna reach, and not only am I gonna reach, but today we're gonna let the shoulder blades drift forward. And you'll see that hunchback curvature that develops when I do it. If I were in a strict push-up or bench press, my elbows would straighten and my shoulders would stay put. Today we're gonna allow that extra shoulder blade movement to happen all the way through. Reach as far as you can. And if the back flexes and curves like that, that's an okay thing. 1 minute, put yourself at the cable machine here. We go, reach. And the shoulder blades as well. Take that grip, pull back. Chest out, elbows as far back as possible. Reach, pull, reach, pull, reach, pull, reach, pull. So the sporting goods stores are open now, Big Five. I'd really love for you to have some kind of bug repellent spray for tomorrow. If you're watching this and you're coming with us tomorrow. I will have a little bit extra, but not enough for the whole crowd. Anything with DEET, D-E-E-T in it is going to do an okay job repelling some of the ticks that we found on that trail 2 weeks ago. Good. That's a minute there. Arms behind the back. Palms up to the ceiling, like so. And we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades back and pulse up and back with those arms. Notice how I'm leaning forward a bit. We're going to use this in the actual routine once we get it started. Punch forward just a tad, trying to do it at the hips, not just bending here. All right, I'm going to do it off sitting the rest of today. We don't want to abuse the back any more than it has to be abused. So let's lean at the waist instead, keeping a somewhat flat spine. Arms behind me, palms up to the ceiling. Look at the width. It's not much, it's pretty narrow. And I'm pulsing like so. Every time I pulse, I'm trying to squeeze this gap between my shoulder blades. I'm trying to make this shirt fold. Let's see if I can do that little fold in the cotton. That's what we're going for. All right. We'll play around with the rotation a little bit, and we'll get some more extra rear delt and external shoulder rotator if we turn the thumbs up and continue doing that. All right, so we'll mess around with that. Feel free to experiment, of course. 1 minute of that pulsing, and 3, 2, your own pace. Let's go. Start with palms up, and then feel free to experiment. Turning the pinky down, the thumbs up, maybe the thumb up in the other direction. I'm going to favor the hitchhike thumbs up. And I really feel the infraspinatus, the external shoulder rotators, when I do that turning of the upper arm. If you already feel this like me, don't worry, we're only doing it for 30 seconds during the routine, not a minute like we're doing right now. So this will be the longest interval today. Wow, it's starting to add up. And relax. There's our minute. Cool. Shall we start the routine? Let me demonstrate the moves, and then we'll put it on the timer, which is ready to go. If we have that set up, we're to put both elbows up. Now, I don't want to be perfectly upright today. I want to be a little bit leaned back, a little bit towards that boat pose that we love so much, a little bit behind us. That's going to help encourage me to use my back muscles and help avoid me curving forward and turning this into like a pec dip, any of the anterior muscle stuff. We don't want to work that today. We already got that this week. We're going to get it again next week. Fingertips up to the ceiling. Lean back. Slide the elbows back to match. And then we're going to kind of like bridge the butt a little bit and see if we can lift the body off. If it's ultra heavy, it is for me. I'm barely able to get my butt off the ground. We can do a couple different things. One of them being lean back even more and pull the elbows back and maybe slide the butt forward. Turn it a little more horizontal. And I'm bridging all the way to the heels. One big lever. You might not move at all. You might not leave the ground at all. As long as in a repetitive fashion, we're putting force into the chairs to lift our weight at least a little bit, shift the body weight just a tad, we're gonna get the work we need. Don't expect it to be a big range of motion pull. Again, this is what mine are going to look like, hopefully, if I can sustain it. Look at how little I'm lifting the butt. Just barely, just barely. That's our first move. Our second move is, again, like so. Turn the hands up, doing that pulsing, that ski pulsing. Get the arms as high as you can, squeezing the shoulder blades together. We already did it for a minute, you should know. The third move, I'm now pushing one of them away, so it's equivalent to my wingspan. And I shift my butt in between, and I scoot forward. Now, the knuckle side of my wrist is going on the objects. And I'm gonna start leaning back. I'm gonna lift my body up with this pressure, that backhanding pressure. Imagine delt raises, or the rear delt raise. If your abs are strong, you're good at the boat pose, you're gonna catch yourself working here to eliminate some of the weight in the hands. Well, let's be lazy with the core. Lean back, make the arms carry some of that weight. And we have a delt raise here with that gap. It's very heavy. I'm doing some work here with the gut. It's unavoidable. But the more you can pack into the arms, the better. Those are our three moves. We're gonna do 30 seconds of work, 7 seconds of off time to alternate the setup, move into the next one for 30 seconds. And we're looping those three moves, I believe for 7 rounds, 8 rounds, something like that. It's only 15 minutes. You ready for it? We're gonna start with those pull-ups, those mini chair pull-ups. Oh, and every time we go through a round, I'm gonna flip around so I can get the other elbow on the other object. I invite you to do the same with me. Shall we? Starts in 10 seconds. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Lean back and pulse. At your own time, your own pace. I'm looking to get at least 15 pulses during the interval. Big chest, lift the ribs. Do what you can. Already very heavy. 5 seconds. And relax. 7 seconds to prepare for that pulsing behind us. Lean forward. Here we go. Shoulder blades squeeze back. Of course, this one can be much faster as it's way lighter. Five seconds left. Perfect. Now we're widening the setup. Prepare for those delt raises. Scoot forward. Knuckles on the objects. Lean back and emerge. Lean back and emerge. Lean. Pop out. Skirt. Control the negative, get your delt work. Feel the base of the neck, upper and middle traps. Perfect. Bring it back in. I'm flipping around so I can get the opposite elbow back to the pull-ups. Let's go. Relax. Now we're going to do those pulses with the arms behind us. Let's try the knuckle side up this time. This one's the worst so far. Woo! Wow. I never thought the no weight move would be the one I'd burn out on. Wide in the setup, we have that boated delt raise. Scoot the butt, knuckle side on the objects. Let's go. Oh, yeah. That's working nicely. Ooh, that's heavy. Very nice. Flipping around again, preparing for the pull-ups. Here we go. I know it's a fast transition time, but now we understand the moves and the setups. We can get through it quickly. Now with the delt raises, if you can't move one of the objects, let's say you're in between that couch and the coffee table, or the bed frame and an ottoman, something like that. I'll show you how to do it narrow in a second. Let's get those pulses first. So instead of using the full straight wingspan, we're going to again use just the upper arm. And I apologize, I should have shown that at the very beginning to enable your setup. If you're freaking out right now, like, I can't do it with the straight arms, I got you, don't worry. We'll do it together. Good. So, keeping the narrow setup, scooting forward, leaning back. Now just go back, like so that the knuckle side of your hand is close to the surface. And we're exposing the delts if we do that rotation of the upper arm. Oh yeah, that works just fine. I'm going to stick with these. Can I rotate it to the knuckle side? And I'm emerging my chest. Solid. Let's go for the pull-ups. I'm flipping my booty in 3, 2, let go. Oh, that's heavy. Five seconds. Good. Get the hands behind you, let's pulse. Every rep getting those shoulder blades together behind us. Oh. Wow. Perfect. Slide forward. If you have that narrow setup for the delts, just go back. Open them. Oh, yes. Quite effective. Oh, yeah. I'm digging those. Turn it around. Back to our lats. Coming up on halfway here. Oh, I'm moving so little now as I get fatigued. So little movement. But still initiating power through the lats, and that's all that matters. Okay, let's get the pulses behind us. Okay, now I'm turning the knuckle side up. Here we go. And every rep, it's chest out towards the ground. So we can retract the shoulder blades, work the rhomboids and the traps. Oh, goodness. Relentless. Great. Let's hit the delts. You can choose that straight arm version or knuckle side back. You can imagine one of those old school pec deck fly machines. Perfect. Flipping it from lats again. Back to the pull-ups, mini pull-ups. Five seconds. Good. Let's pulse the arms behind us, turn the knuckle side up this time. Oh, that's killer. I do feel some tricep also from our pushing workout this week. If I turn the palms up, I might avoid a little bit of that. Nope, it's still there. Good. Let's get that delt work. I'm going to go straight arm version again. You pick your poison. It's different. Similar load on the delts, so. Woo! Turn around for delt, lats again. Mini pull-ups. And begin. Coming up on 3/4 through the workout. Stick with it. Continue these moves. Every rep, we should be learning how to make it more effective. This is all new stuff. Experiment and learn. Find your technique. Good. Let's pulse. Go. This is the worst. Jeez, guys, the burn right here. This is nasty. So simple. I didn't expect this to be the one. Delts. I'm going bent this time. Lean back. Elbows back. Pec deck fly machine. Be lazy with the core so that your arms have to carry the entire torso weight. Nice controlled negative as we drop into the space. And then chest out on the way up to really work the rhomboid range. Great. Back to pull-ups. Flip it. Now I'm feeling those lats. They're no longer lazy. Make sure to lean back slightly to avoid using the pecs and the serratus. Pulsing. In 3, 2, 1. Wow. Oh, okay. Delts, I'm going back to straight arm. Giving it another shot. Control the negatives, really feeling those when they're slow. It's helping me learn more about this technique. Great. And my friends,
activity completed.
We've done it. Now, as an added little bonus, we're going to spend 1 minute of constant time in that mini pull-up. Now, for me, it's going to be too heavy to lift my body at all. So I'm looking just to smash down. Now we are working with asymmetry, I just realized. So we'll do 30 seconds per arm, 30 seconds per side, sorry. 30 seconds here, we'll turn around for 30. I'll let us know when to switch. I'll give us like a 2-second, 5-second break to turn around. If you're in the same setup, try to sustain. And maybe just take a breather there when we take our swap. So I'm leaning back a tad. I'm really driving the elbows down, fingertips to the ceiling, chest out, lift the ribs, lift the collarbone through that space. And constant tension for 30 seconds, a 5-second break to switch if your system is asymmetric, and 30 seconds on the other side. And that's it. We did it. Very nice. Don't worry about the pulsing, don't worry about the lifting, just put power down through the upper arm. Here, smash down. See if you can lift the body, jiggle it up. Set that 30-second timer. And we're off to the races. Let's push with all the power we have left, okay? Timer starts. Now, 30 seconds is on. Don't worry about making a tight fist. You can if you want. It's not necessary. The lats operate independently from the grip. And the biceps, believe it or not, completely separate. Put more force into it. Only 13 seconds left before we swap. Push a little harder. Do a little more. Let's go. Drive, drive, drive. Intensity is going to make this one a challenge, not just time. So push and relax. Swapping sides. Starting in 3, 2, go. And this is it. So drive into it. Make it intense. Don't just get through. Push a little forward. Imagine breaking through the seat of that chair. 13 seconds. Let's go. More force, more power, more strength getting built as a result. And that mental engine initiating. Relax. Very nice work. That was saucy. Got my sweat going. Not just because the door is open and the AC's off. And we actually generated a little bit of calorie burning today, I think. Don't you agree? Hopefully you enjoyed it. That's a quite versatile routine. I'm thinking if I'm ever stuck, being a guest somewhere or at a hotel or any of those niceties, I can use this one without a pull-up bar and really work the lats. Pretty isolated fashion. And if there's a takeaway from today, it's that, and we talk about this all the time at Nomad, the muscles of the back of the torso operate independently from the grip in the bicep. So a lot of times we'll see pull-ups like that, really using the bicep, or rows where the forearm gets out of line with the direction of force with the vector, depending too much on biceps. And that's happening for many reasons. One, probably because our back muscles could stand a little extra strength being built. We don't use them too much day to day, so we got to crank it up in the gym. Also, coordination. Practicing, pulling things. Again, doesn't happen much in day-to-day life other than pulling the car door open. But that's not a lot of weight, right? So you're not forced to be efficient about it. So think about that efficiency. Understand when you're pulling, the forearm is simply the hook of attachment, and the biceps are support muscles. So every time you do a pull up, think of what we just did, the elbow down. This is, again, just the attachment to the bar. Every time we do a row, same thing, elbow back, chest out. The grip is just the attachment site, and the bicep is there as a little shock absorber. There's your rowing education for the day. I hope you learned something. I hope you built something. I know I did. Lost some water too. Let's rehydrate. And you know who you are. If I'm talking to you, I'll see you tomorrow. In person. Oh yeah. And if you're not a part of that group, go get outside and do something fun, all right? Get out in the outdoors. It's therapeutic. That vitamin D though.